Ocean's Pit, a little show about big things. Good afternoon. Wow. Guess what's coming up, folks? 4th of July. I hope you guys are going out there enjoying the holiday with your family, with your friends. You know what? Get out of the house, travel, get in your car, go book a hotel room, go book a flight if you haven't done already. Get out of the house, folks. You've been locked up for what? Even though it's only been a couple years, people are still a little anal with this kind of stuff. Get out of the house, folks. You imagine people actually sat at home for 2 years listening to a TV, tell them that you can't leave the house. And Dr. Fauci, not even a real doctor. Anyway, besides that, folks, go out, have fun, enjoy. That's what it's about. You're watching Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. Check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com. And give us a call at 847-769-8609. Folks, we want to just thank you all for watching. Every show is dedicated to the first responders and everything that you guys do. We really do appreciate that very much. But it's dedicated to people like you who sit back and enjoy and watch the show whenever you can. I do really appreciate it very much. We're on live on the Tony Ocean Show Facebook page. We're on the Mo Carrara Facebook page. We're on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and the Tony Ocean Facebook page as well. So plenty of chances to see the show, folks. Tonight is actually my wife Laura's birthday. But we celebrated a little bit yesterday on Ocean's Pit, and a lot of fun for that, folks. And, we got all the birthdays in June. All the kids, our cousins, and my son-in-law, and then my son Tony, of course, and then our cousin Whitney, and then our Marissa's boyfriend Nico, and then my wife too. So everybody in June. So the party's outside. We just got the new deck done. We got everything brand new out there. The pool is ready. It's been ready now for about a month now, 2 months. So we're just having a lot of fun, and I hope you guys are too, and you're ready for the 4th of July. One thing I want to say before the 4th of July, guys, instead of buying fireworks and sitting in your backyard and spending all that money, how about doing me a favor? Do me a favor, folks. Get some of that. Go buy 2 bags of dog food and bring it to any place that takes care of dogs, especially my place, Almost Home Foundation for Dogs, Irving Park Road in Schaumburg, folks. Make a difference instead of making noise. That's Almost Home Foundation. Go to almosthomefoundation.org. I volunteer every Tuesday. I walk dogs every Tuesday morning from 8 to 10. They're looking for supplies. They're looking for volunteers. They're looking for funding. It's a nonprofit organization. That's Almost Home Foundation. So go buy 2 bags of dog food instead of those fireworks. Make a difference instead of just making noise. Absolutely. All right. Ocean's Pit. Now, today's guest, we got my good friend. He's back again, coming on in a couple minutes, folks. Of course, my good buddy from Venus Travel. That's 7418 West Belmont Avenue, Chicago, 773-673-1110. Or you can go to John at VenusTravel.com. We're talking about John Canetta, folks. Venus Travel. We'll also talk about a little hockey today. What do they think of that first round pick that's coming to the Hawks? Can they actually get somewhere this year with all the stuff that's been going on with them? Well, we'll talk about that with John before he gets on. So a lot of questions about traveling, and John's going to answer some. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And John was on the show when we first started, so it's nice to have him back. And me and John go back many, 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 many years. So, all right. So another thing we got to do, folks, thank you all for the about 400 or 500 people that showed up last night at the beautiful Flatiron Park in Lake Geneva, downtown Wisconsin. What a big turnout. And thank you so much to we love doing that concert in the park every year. We kicked it off. Last year, we closed the fest. This year, we opened the fest. And I thought the heat was going to keep everybody away, or the smoke from Canada. Oh, you can't leave the house. Yeah, they're out, folks. Believe it or not, people are out of the house. Now, if you've got COPD, stay home. I mean, some of that stuff out there could be very dangerous. But in the meantime, I want to thank you, Bill Saratella, of course, Emotions Rat Pack. Great job, Billy. And, of course, Jerry Jams. It was great seeing Julie and the whole Saratella family and everybody coming out. So it was great seeing everybody. We really do appreciate that. Now, tonight we'll be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse, of course, every Friday with my good buddy Jerry Jams. Tomorrow, it's a private event in Inverness. But Sunday, folks, we're doing some more fireworks at the Celebrating America Kenosha, Wisconsin, right on the water with my other band, Mojo's Jukebox, and that's going to be at 9 p.m. till 10:30. Then the fireworks will fly, folks. So on 53rd and 3rd, if you've got no plans coming out on Sunday. First, let's not forget our good buddies from Ace Hardware. That's right, the main sponsors of the show: Norwich, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park, Warrenville. Ace, buy local, shop local. They got so many great things. Remember, you want $20 off on any of your grills, those brand grills. Go out and get a brand new grill. Tell them to grill your ace off. Go up to Ralphie and say, Ralphie, grill your ace off and get $20 off any grill, folks. That's right, Ace Hardware. Download the Ace Rewards app. Easy way to keep track of your points, coupons, and special offers. That's Ace Hardware. Remember, Ace, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. And if you're in the Norwich area looking for a job, they're hiring. Join their team. Full-time garden center manager wanted, folks. Competitive pay, sign-on bonus, quality benefits. Stop in your store, fill out an application, or go to Melissa at Norwich.com. Go out there, get a job, help it out. And Ace Hardware, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods, our number one sponsors. Thank you so much, Ace. Let's not forget Garelli Pavement Service. Garelli knows curb your appeal, home, business, and large affected by concrete and asphalt. They do complete replacements, residential and commercial. They also do driveways. Servicing Illinois, Indiana, in Wisconsin. That's Garelli Pavement Service. Call Laura or Barb, give her a free estimate. Tell them Tony O sent you at 815-271-5835. That's 815-271-5835. Garelli Pavement Service. Let's say hello to some people watching today, folks. Carol, hello, Pina. Kathy, how you doing? Everybody, Lillian, great seeing you last night. Ryan, Jerry Jams, we got San Francisco today. Hey, the General is watching. Nina, how you doing, my dear? Hope you guys are doing well. Santa Barbara, California, New Jersey. Hello, Iowa. God, I haven't seen you guys in a while. I hope you guys are well. All right, so big show planned. And before we bring up Johnny, folks, we got to talk about the big thing, talking about traveling. You know what could happen when you guys are all freezing your ass off in January? 400 already booked Tony Ocean fans are going to be, and that's just, remember, we're talking about the 2024 Chicago Music Cruise. That's right, folks. January 7th, 2024 to January 14th. The 7-night Royal Caribbean Wonders of the Sea. The biggest ship on the water, folks. That's right, 4 football fields long. It's Tony Ocean and the main event band. My other band, Mojo's Jukebox, and Seventh Heaven, baby. That's right, Seventh Heaven, the biggest band in the city of Chicago, if not all the Midwest. Richie has been doing this cruise for many, many, many years, and we've been trying to get on this together. It's going to start off in Orlando, Florida, Coco Key, Bahamas, St. Thomas, and St. Martin, folks. Woo! There's going to be a lot of fun there, folks, as Ric Flair would play. Go speak to my good friend Mary at NTD Travels. 2024 Chicago Music Cruise. Sign up and join us with the other 400. That's just for Tony Ocean, folks. Seventh Heaven's probably got another 500-600. It's going to be incredible cruise, the biggest one yet. I'm excited and I can't wait. Dave Antonelli, what's up, my brother? I hope you're doing well. Michael, that's right, my good friend from Crash Champions Collision Auto Repairs. For all your collision auto repairs, go to crashchampions.com. And don't forget Danny Mazzi from Armando Supermarkets, 925 Liberty Street in Elgin. Buy local, shop local. All right, enough of that. A lot of stuff we'll talk about after we bring up my good buddy. I've known John Canetta for many, many, many years. He's been with Venus Travel 2023 Best in Chicago, Business Hall of Fame, 11 years. They just got that nice award. They're on 7418 West Belmont in Chicago, 773-637-1110, or you can go to John at VenusTravel.com. Let's bring on John Canetta, everybody. Let's get him on here. Sorry, you get the thing sometimes you can't. All right, where are you at? There you go. Johnny, are you there? Wait, you were there. Hold on.
I was there. There you are.
What's up, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, T? What's going on? I'm surprised you're not singing right now.
Yeah, right, because I can't sing enough. So let's sing during the day too while we're at it. Go ahead.
Yeah, right.
Johnny, you're looking great, buddy. Dapper. Let's see. Tony Toto says hello, Johnny. Tony Toto.
All right, say hello to my Tony Tono, best drummer in the
There you
land.
go. You got all the Italians saying hello to you, brother. Johnny, first of all, how are you doing, buddy?
All right, Tony, doing well. Just getting back to kind of the normality of what this place was before.
Yeah.
Had that 1 year and a half, 2 years of the lull. I called it the lull of whatever you want to call it, whatever was going on out
Yeah,
there.
we call
like
it
you said, stopping us
Tony Ocean
watching
World.
the
Yeah,
television.
the Tony Ocean World. We call it the flu. Yes,
The flu,
the
yeah.
flu. And now the President Obama says the flu is back. It's back. All of a sudden, it's decided to come back. All right. Anyway, let's talk about Johnny. Now, you've been doing. It's been only 11 years. I thought you've been doing longer than that.
Well, no, 11 years that we were inducted into this Business Hall of Fame. But Dad opened up the place. My dad, Vincenzo Canena, opened up the place in 68. I started with Dad in 77, kind of like your Guanella thing. I kind of got stuck here. And then I said, wanted to get out of this, but the old man says, no, you're not leaving. So since 1977 and
Johnny, you've always been in the same location?
Yes, since 1968. My dad opened here in 68.
And I think my grandfather used to have a place near you guys at Montecatini Shoes.
Oh, on Addison Avenue, best Italian shoes in the world.
Best. And then they moved to the Hip, and they called it Carrara Shoes. They had to change the name.
Carrara Shoes.
That's right.
Yes. The smell of real leather.
The smell of real leather, absolutely. Johnny, if you weren't in this, since you said you were stuck in this thing, if you had to do your bucket list and it wasn't Venus travel, would you be a coach in hockey? What would you be doing?
You know what? I would have liked to have done that. My career ended a little bit early in college. My freshman year, I blew out my knee. But I always wanted to do the journalism thing, kind of like what me and you were doing, like how you're doing. I wanted to be on a radio station. So I went to Loyola University, got my degree in journalism. And but like I said, the family thing kind of was okay.
But you're still doing a little bit of both. What's the name of the show that you got on Sundays?
Right now, matter of fact, I went solo, and it's called A Conversation with John Canena, and try to do some one-on-one interviews with ex-athletes, journalists, and that kind of stuff. Sure. But yeah, it's fun. It's great to dabble, and I love what you're doing every day here.
Well, thank you, my brother. Fantastic. Let's talk a couple things first. And 2020 came, nobody was traveling, even though Florida was open. Wisconsin was open. People were people flying out anyway? Were they going on places during that time, John?
They were. I think people, any chance they had to push that envelope from 2020 to like about 2021, they did. I mean, they would have went through hoops to do it. They were like Florida, like you said, was a place to go to. Matter of fact, the good friends of mine went to Florida in 2021. The rates were amazing. Vegas was amazing. People were going and, finding ways to go. If they had to get a letter, they had to wear 4 masks over their nose. They did it.
They did it. Yeah. And they went. And you know what? It's like, even I was talking to even like in my shows, I was telling people, some of my following is a little older. So some people said to me, and they were out. Some of these restaurants, they put the tents out there. People were still going out, and they say, listen, I'm 79, whatever it is. If I'm going to go, I'm going. I ain't dying in my basement. Exactly. I ain't dying because the man on the television tells me I can't leave the house. So, but it's a little crazy as it is. But it's important to know that people are coming out now. Now they're coming out like droves, right?
In droves. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like this pent up demand is just gone. For example, if I can elaborate just on something, Netflix had 2 series out this year, Tony. One called From Scratch, a movie about a African American family that met a Sicilian man, a beautiful girl, and it's a love story. And then the other one was White Lotus, and Italy just bursted onto the scene, and Italy doesn't need no advertisement, but now it just went cuckoo's.
Yeah. And Johnny, from what you're hearing, other countries now, I mean, are they traveling over there? Is it open over there too? Because I know Italy was pretty bad for a long time, for a while.
Oh yeah, it was bad. It was bad there. But all the European countries are pretty much open. I mean, Greece is really hot this summer. Italy, of course, is really hot. France had, I think, an issue this past 24 hours, but they've been doing very well. Barcelona, Spain, fantastic. And the industry that you brought up here earlier when I was listening to your advertisements is starting to get back on fire, is the cruise industry.
Yeah. Now, the traveling, John, what are you hearing? Are they wearing masks? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? Not too much.
You know, T, like you said, overnight, whatever they wanted to call it, COVID, the flu, whatever, it went away like overnight. Now you don't need a letter. You don't need a mask. You can be kissing the person in the middle aisle now. It's just
you can lick the
crazy.
banisters now. Everything is okay.
Yeah, it's all bad.
It's
Yeah,
all- it's
exactly.
all
Right.
good.
Exactly. Crazy.
But
right.
you
No,
are hearing,
no
Johnny, you are hearing a lot of understaffed, delayed in flights still.
Yes.
Why is that? Because they
Yes.
don't have the employees?
Okay.
What is it?
Well, now I really do believe, and I'm glad I'm able to say this on your show today. A lot of these they've been threatening a lot of strikes. A lot of the European carriers, like a lot of the pilots, don't want to work over the 12-hour. I mean, if it's 12 hours and 2 minutes, they sometimes shut down and the flight gets canceled. They're having major problems in Europe with transfer companies that pick you up from the airport, the railroad station, or even some of these tour companies that go to Lucca, like the wine area, or go into Florence, or even like today, I had tours canceled at the Vatican because these guides are not available and they're using the excuses like we are using them here. You know, oh no, I can't go work today. I got to work from home. So there's a lot of craziness going on, but these are the main issues of why flights get canceled, and of course, tours get canceled.
Yeah, and I know that, don't they have like a shortage of pilots too, correct?
Yes, major.
Right,
That's becoming like trying to find a plumber nowadays.
And I heard that some guys are not even giving them the full, from what I've been reading, they're not even giving them the full license. They're just giving them just enough so they can actually fly. But,
exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine? But yeah, this has been the short. The airline industry is under siege with, people just not finding the right people to work. And like you just said, maybe the right experience.
Yeah, let me ask you something. What's the biggest, when they're calling you now, where do they want to go?
Well, my biggest cog, of course, kind of been typecast. Me and my dad were always typecast. I think my dad was typecast like the old Superman, George Reeves, and I'm kind of typecast as the Italian guy being James Gandolfini. Yeah. Where you would see Gandolfini in another movie, you would remember him as Tony Soprano. But here's the thing: it's Europe. Definitely, I mean, Italy's my main cog, but the Caribbean, Los Cabos, Mexico, a lot of, because Mexico has been under siege with other issues like those drug cartels and everything else.
And from what I'm hearing, John, they used to be off the strip. Now they're coming to the actual resorts. They don't care.
Right. They're coming to the resorts, which is very scary. And a lot of people I've never seen so much insurance purchase, Tony, in these last year and a half by people who are, when they hear something on the news, the next day there's the phone call. John, I'm sorry, but we've decided to change our minds. But the Caribbean is still, Aruba is still very, very a hot commodity. And the Caribbean is still, like when I say the Caribbean, the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. Martin.
And you see more couples, you see a lot of single people traveling, it's more families. What is it right now?
Right now I see a lot of families. But the main thing, Tony, that has changed since after COVID is now these young couples and even people our age renewing their vows are doing these destination weddings, destination vows. They're, trying to get 40, 50 people to come to their wedding overnight in a different country, which I find amazing because now you got to make a vacation out of it. If you and Laura were going, okay, now we got to make a vacation.
Well, like my daughter Gianna, she's such an incredible girl, and not just because she's our daughter, but she's maid of honor to 4 different people in the last 2 years, and she's got to plan it all, and it just happens to most of them out of state, or out of so yeah, it's amazing, but I'm happy that they're doing it out there. And I think all the other countries, I think those people can't wait for Americans to get over there and spend their money.
Oh, sure. I mean, they need the tourism. There's no doubt about it. They need the tourism.
And let's be honest. Now, I don't know. We flew during the whole COVID thing with the jab and all this shots. Nobody ever asked for our vaccination card when we
Right.
went on the. Oh, I didn't have one anyway, but no one asked for those cards going onto the airplane. Now,
Yeah.
what the?
And you know what, Tony? That makes me angry because here I was reminding people constantly about these cards. And then all of a sudden they would come back after the trip and say, by the way, you worry so much, didn't even ask me for the freaking card. Okay. But, you run into the jerk that would have asked you, there would have been a problem. But again, another responsibility to carry, and then they don't check it. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, and it's just way that you go get it so they can, and it really comes now you're hearing it all this stuff unraveling. It's right to the point that another person that whatever they got it, whether they got it or not, that's their business. But what I'm trying to say is when they had to get it another one and then another one and then another one.
Okay.
It's like, what the, you might as well just,
Yeah, it's crazy.
and then they don't even ask for the card.
They don't even ask for it, right? Exactly. So, yeah, thank God for Kinko's. You could have made a copy.
Or remember, like when we were kids, we used to get the fake IDs. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that there was nobody on Taylor Street somewhere or in Stone Park basement making some fake IDs. And so
I think mine's still at the corner of Diversity and Central at the 1, 2, 3.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. The guys are out there selling them. Absolutely. We have John Canetta, Venus Travel. Everybody, that's right. 7418 West Belmont, Chicago. Johnny, what do you also hear about? I mean, besides that, people, besides the locations, they are a fear besides Mexico. Is it anywhere else that you're hearing this stuff too?
Well, the other one that just came up about a month and a half ago, Tony, which really kind of put a scare into me, which was getting popular, is Costa Rica, Belize. They've had some issues there, again, with random, I'll use the word random killings of tourists. And again, it's amazing how sometimes we don't catch this on our major news, but there has been a lot of this going on in Belize too, which has put a little bit of a dark area there. Strange things are happening.
Yeah, and besides worrying about shooting, what about all the trafficking that people are getting kidnapped?
Yes.
Young kids are getting kidnapped. I mean, let's go back to Aruba. That one kid, whatever that girl, remember back to Aruba,
sure, disappeared.
People stopped going to Aruba for a long time. Because it's just you want to you want to go on vacation, you want to feel relaxed, you're paying big money to stay at some of these resorts. You know what I mean?
Tone, I think they see the United States and it kind of, tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe it transcends into, hey, they're doing it in the States. Let's disrespect even the tourists, the police. Everything has been disrespected,
Yeah, I get it too. And, makes you wonder what these countries right now think of the United States of America.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they got to be, I don't know. I want to say hello to a few people. Jimmy Parker from Nashville. How you doing, buddy? Fantastic, Jimmy. Listen to his new song, Woulda, Shoulda, Coulda. He's fantastic. Susan, the Jambroni. How you doing? So many people have brought properties in Costa Rica. Okay, there you go. Robert DeGeneral, Provenzano says South America is a shithole. Yeah. Okay, so you've got people who went there.
I'm not going to disagree with Robert on that.
Yeah, they've been to places and they've had some bad experiences or whatever it is. Rosanna hi, Rosanna Coronara. Johnny, he's our guy. My father's been using him for years. Yeah, everybody. So,
hey, Rosanna.
Hey, Rosanna, how you doing, honey? We'll see you Monday with the chiropractor. She works for Anthony. They're a really good place over there. Anyway. Yeah, so it's like you. Have you went on vacation with your family yet?
Well, the last one I went on was last year. My daughter actually had a destination wedding in Sicily, in the town where my mother-in-law and my wife were born in Cefalù, Sicily. It was beautiful. Everything else, it was a big to-do for us because she wanted to get married in the church where my mother-in-law got married. So that was really my last major trip. But and it was last year. And I thought things were a little bit better last year, pricing wise and accommodation wise. Where now this year, like me and you had started this conversation today, now it's flooded. You don't know if your plane's going to get canceled, what's going to happen. Now we got this purple haze in the air, or whatever they call it, and that's affecting everything. It's just it's a madness.
Now let me ask you, Johnny, though, when Americans go to those other countries, now you hear about France. They can't. They don't like people from America. Well, let me ask you something. Do you think it's wise if you're going to go out to a foreign country, try to learn some of their languages, like the hello and that kind of stuff? Does it make it go farther? Or do they kind of make funny to learn?
You know what? I think nowadays kind of good to try because I think that's a great point by you because it shows a respect that you're respecting them. It's not like the jerky guy that it does the accent thing. I like that. Yes, I do feel that if the people try, that's a respect factor. They looked forward to helping you, even though I have to say all these people in Europe have to know the English language. That is one of the things to get a job in a hotel and to work for a transfer company or a museum. You must know the English language. I get a lot of clients that sometimes tell me, "Oh God, John, we went to this place. They're all speaking Italian." I'll get on the phone and say, "Do you people speak English there?" And they're speaking to me in English. So there's always the nitpicking that goes on, but I truly do believe, Tony, what you said is true. They respect the fact that you will try.
Yeah, and also sometimes, let's be honest, and I've done it a few times going to Italy. I would sit there and see people just ripping on you and not thinking that you speak the language. And then all of a
Right.
sudden you answer them in Italian and you see that whole face just go, oh, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they want to see what, yeah, but you know what? I believe coming to, when you go into a foreign country, like what they say, when in Rome, try to learn another
Yes.
thing. But Johnny, here's another thing now. When they come here to the United States, I noticed that a lot of other countries, there's no tipping. Is there tipping in like I know like when they come from England and place like that, they don't tip after they eat dinner. There's no tips in there. Now I notice when they come sometimes to America, they don't understand the whole tipping thing, and some of them don't tip.
Right. And you know what the reasoning therefore is too? Like a lot of we'll keep it with Italy for right now. I
Yeah,
always tell my clients when you are going out with your family or if it's your wife, your girlfriend, whoever, you're going to ask before you sit down, is the tip included? These people in Europe work on a wage every day more than our minimum wage here. So when you do go to tip them, even if it was 20 euros for the whole entire meal, that could have been $500, let's say,
yeah, yeah.
they really appreciate the tip. They're not looking for the 20%, even a baggage handler or a driver. If you give them anywhere from between 15 to 30 euros, it's appreciative because they are getting paid. They are getting paid a wage. We're here, I'm getting into a situation now where I'm finding out, do you tip before the tax or you tip after the tax, the 20%? Because sometimes you're
And
always
yeah, right. I'm going to tell you something. We were stayed at the Kalahari, and that's just a hotel, water park in New Dells.
right.
We ordered breakfast, me and Laura. It was just 2 eggs, toast, bacon. She ordered coffee. I ordered orange juice. It was $99. And they put the tip on there, but I didn't roll. So when I did it, I just put my 20%, but they
20%.
realized that the tip is already on there. And
Sure.
sometimes they're not telling you that. So who's going to look? It's probably my responsibility to look, but they should
Right.
also say, hey, the tip is also included. Now, wasn't it a tip at one time mandatory if you had more than 8 people or whatever it was? And
Yeah,
now it's,
or the Tony. I think the tip was included on 8 automatically, right?
yes,
A
yes,
party of
yes,
8, right?
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
But I noticed now when you go to a restaurant, on the bottom it says 15% is this much, 20%. They're
Yeah.
telling you,
Well,
okay,
I like that. Instead of after
right?
thinking about it, here's what it is. You can put whatever it is and bum like that.
Sure.
John Canetta from Venus Travel. Johnny, is there a place in the bucket list that you haven't been to that you still want to go to?
I would really it scares me, but I really want to try it one day. I hope is Australia, but I know like what is it? It's Friday here now. I'm hearing it's probably going to be Sunday here in about an hour. So you really go through the time change. But I just hear it's beautiful, and like a Melbourne or a Sydney,
It's supposed to be
unbelievable. Have you been
fantastic.
there? Have you been there?
Yeah, no, and I think if you go to places like that, you have to at least, you got to more than a week ain't going to happen. You got to go for
No,
like 2 or 3 weeks, or you're going to, you're on the plane. Next thing you know, you turn around and be done.
right, right.
Absolutely. All right. So I know you've always been with hockey. You're a big hockey guy. Of course, we don't remember the Blackhawks years ago, of course,
Sure.
when they wouldn't put the father took them off television and they lost a lot of fans because of that.
A lot of fans.
Johnny, what was his reasoning? Because you figured that no one would go to the game if they.
Back in that day, of course, they played in the old Chicago Stadium, and the Chicago Stadium only held about 17,000 people. And I really did believe that, okay, if it was only holding 17,000, of course, there was no scalping or StubHub back in those days. I really did believe, if we're going to get 17,000 here, let's make sure we get 16,999 in this building. I think his fear was that, okay, now our 2,000 or 3,000 people get to sit at home watching it on TV. I think that was, Wirtz's feeling, of course, the original Wirtz's, but with the advent of cable and everything else and the sponsors now it almost automatically, and which is amazing, these places are packed, and we have a lot of losing teams in Chicago, as you know.
Yeah. But it's one thing you got to love about Chicago. It is the fans. They don't care if you win or lose. They're going to go.
They're going to go.
Which is fantastic. That's probably why they don't care if they spend money or not.
Sure.
But then when they finally put them back on, and how many Stanley Cups does the Hawks have? 6, 7, 5?
Yeah, they won 3. Let's see, 3. Yeah, I think we're at 6. We're at 6 Stanley Cups with the 3 here in the 2000 eras. Yeah.
Were you shocked? What do you think? Were you shocked when Patrick Kane went to my New York Rangers?
Well, here's the thing. I think Kane did not want to be part of the rebuild because the way they just decimated that team over the years. And, of course, the incident they had with the issues with this one player that kind of put them back and put them in the back in the rock ages there.
I'm glad you brought that up. They took a heat for that, and they tried to cover it up during the Stanley Cup. And I could be crazy, just my thought. I think Q thought he was an incredible coach. I think he took a fall for that. He shouldn't have. I think he was the scapegoat. They threw him out like that. I don't think he had none. That was horrible.
Tony, I agree with you 100%. Joe Quenneville is a phenomenal X and O's coach.
And a great guy.
Great guy. I went to a couple of his clinics when I was coaching. Just phenomenal. But yes, Tony, 100%. He took the fall for an organization that the upper management should have took a fall for. And now it has decimated his career. He may not even be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And he's the third winningest coach in hockey with over 715 wins. And he took a major fall for that organization.
I agree with you. I did a lot of Christmas parties for him up in Burr Ridge. He was always a great guy, and I just feel horrible that happened the way they did. It's really, really crazy. But all right, so the rebuild, and part of this rebuild now, Connor Bedard, right, number one
Bedard,
draft pick. What do you think?
Well, the guy that really is going to stand out here, and I hope I'm right in a couple of years, Bedard, of course, is going to remind me of the early 80s with Dennis Savard. He's got all the moves. He's probably got a better shot than Denny. I think if Denny hears me say this, he'll probably come over and shoot me on Belmont Avenue. But Bedard has all the tools. He's being compared to basically like a Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky style of player. He sees the ice. He's able to anticipate things. But the guy to watch is their 19th pick, and I hope I'm right, is this Oliver Moore, who they picked in the second round. An aggressive skater, fearless, legs. He's got cannon legs, meaning he can move. And this could be interesting. And, of course, they picked up a couple of veterans here the last couple of days, Foligno and Hall, which are really going to help with these two young. This Bedard is 17 years old, so he's coming to a town, like how you know about New York. You got to
but you know what? Now Patrick Kane was 17 too, right? When he came.
Yes.
Is there a difference between the two, you think?
Yeah, there is a difference between the two. I think Kane is more of a player that is more of he's a setup guy. He sees the ice perfectly. Phenomenal hands, Patrick Kane, and I hope he gets over this hip surgery. But Bedard is going to be. I could see this young man scoring 30, 40 goals in his rookie season.
Johnny, let me ask you something. What is how long does an average hockey player last?
Well, that's a great question, Tone, because back in the days of Hall and Nikita, they both played from late 1950s into the early 80s. Now, with the speed of the game, and the tenacity of some of these guys. These guys are, I think everybody's a 250, 260, rock solid. You got this speed and this hitting that goes on. in the open ice, I'd have to say the average, you're probably getting anywhere from 8 to 10 years. And that's if you're staying healthy.
That's if you're staying healthy. Pricing now, ticket price. Now, Cubs out of crazy for,
Yeah.
they went up a lot at the, I haven't been to a Hawks game in a while. If the price is up for parking and drinks and food.
Oh yeah, for sure. I went to a couple games. I mean, if you want an easy out now at the United Center, I should say, because I always call it the stadium. I'm showing my age. It's easy out. I think now is $50. I think before you walk into there, if you wanted to take a family there, you need, I think, $250, $300 if you're taking a family of four there just to eat something. And that it is craziness there. And I did hear, because of this Bedard pick, their prices are going to be very high, and I can imagine.
I can imagine so on that. Yeah. You know what, dude? How long do you think? I mean, they're going to rebuild. It's going to take a while, though, right?
It's amazing how, it's just like, you surround yourself, like the saying in life, you surround yourself around good people and good things are going to happen. I was very intrigued by when Bedard signed, and of course this Oliver Moore, and now they get these two veterans, Foligno and Hall, who have been in the league for a while. Now they have a drawing card with Bedard, just like when Kane and Tays were here in the late 2000s. Again, a lot of veterans started coming in, and that's why we made our run.
Is there any players left from the old regime with Kane and them guys?
I want to say, all gone. I want to say Patrick was one of the last ones.
Last one to go. Yeah,
and then of course he's
Yeah, you're watching Ocean Spit, little show about big things. John Canana, folks, Venus Travel. Let's go to a quick sponsor, folks, if we can. Let's not forget our good buddies from Roy McCampbell, attorney at law, the best if you're looking for a great attorney. Roy McCampbell, folks, a statewide law practice that is client-focused and results-driven. Call Roy at 708-275-4264. How about my wife's company, Laura Ocean Solutions, increasing profits while reducing credit card fees. If you work with credit cards, check out Laura Ocean Solutions. You'll never have to shop again. Deutsch Power Center out of Elgin, Illinois, servicing the construction and diesel industry in Chicago for the last 100 years. That's Deutsch, 224-276-6550. Let's not forget Don Esteban Cigars out of Tarpon Springs, Florida. Get those hand-rolled cigars delivered right to your home. Call Javier at 727-366-7536. And last but not least on this side, folks, of course, Trico Hair Experts out of Rosemont, Illinois, Anthony Santangelo and Carmela. They do a great job, folks, recreating great hair days. 773-999-7888. We are live on Ocean's Pit, of course, with John Canana, Venus Travel, talking Chicago Blackhawks hockey. Who would you say the best ever Chicago Blackhawk was, in your opinion?
Well, there's a few of them, and he's really not my favorite in the sense of when I go to watch YouTubes of this man, but his dominance. And another thing, and I hope you're on the same page with me on this, because I like when me and you are on the same page.
Yes, sir.
I got to tell you, in 1969, I went to the old Chicago Stadium with my dad, and I saw Bobby Hall come up the steps, and larger than life. And I have to tell you, when he came up those steps at the old stadium, Tone, it was louder than Jordan when Jordan was in his heyday in the old building. I want to say, can a Connor Bedard, can an Oliver Moore be the next Bobby Hall? I still, as much as I thought he was an individualist, I'm going to say the greatest Blackhawk of all time is Bobby Hall.
And you know what? I don't know if those athletes ever coming back. I'm not just saying hockey, but there'll never be another Mickey Mantle. There'll never be another, Bobby Hall, like you said, or a Michael Jordan. I mean, LeBron came close, but why do you think those players aren't there no more?
You know what? That's a great thing, especially when you bring up Mickey Mantle of the New York Yankees. The name alone, scares you in the sense of, I just think like now everything is marketed in so many different ways. I know there's a guy in New York that I love who plays for the Yankees that you probably love, Aaron Judge.
But he always gets hurt.
He always gets hurt, right? But again, It's just, yeah, that era, Tony, you are correct, is gone. It's just gone. And I wish it would come back, and I wish players would stay on the same teams for 5, 6 years. But as you know, the almighty dollar and the greed is huge.
Well, that's what I don't understand about the Blackhawks. They have a winning team, and they had it for a while. Why break it up? Why break up the team as long as you keep winning? Or are they, even after all those the rings that the Bulls got, they finally got rid of Michael. They got rid of I mean, why do you think that? I mean, why is hockey seem? Are they the cheapest of all sports? I hate to use that word, but they get paid the less out of all the sports that are out there.
They're probably under the minimums, I think, of that. But I have to tell you, and I don't mind saying this, one is past and the other one is long gone. But Jerry Krause, who was the Chicago Bulls general manager, I really thought he thought he was the one that was behind this 6 championships when it was Jordan, Pippen, and all those guys. I think they get bigger than the game, some of these general managers. And the one, of course, with the Blackhawks, Stan Bowman, he wanted the credit and never, like you said here earlier in this conversation, never gave Joe Quenneville his just due.
Quenneville was the best, and he was great with that. And even the players, they really did miss him. What would you say the most overrated Chicago Blackhawk was?
Overrated Chicago Blackhawk. Oh, God, during their time. I know me and my son went back and forth on a lot of things. I'm going to have to say, even though he was more for the ladies and he was an analyst here, but I'm going to say Patrick Sharp was, I think, a little overrated. I don't see him being in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, now tell me something. Now, there was a rumor, and maybe you can help me out on this. I'm not quite sure. Now, did somebody sleep with someone else's wife? I mean, you heard about all those allegations.
There were a lot of allegations like that. I don't know for sure, but were. You're right. There were some allegations, but again, if I had to speak of one overrated player, I would have to say it was him. But even though here's a guy that scored probably 300 goals in his career. Sure.
So, and what about the greatest hockey player ever? Is it Wayne Gretzky?
You know what? I got to tell you, because maybe I'm really showing my age. Gretzky, phenomenal. Mario Lemieux, phenomenal. The great Jean Beliveau from Canada, phenomenal. I liked a guy in Canada named Guy Lafleur. But you know what? If I got to go old school here, Tony, for the all-around play, I'm taking Gordie Howe.
Gordie Howe is fantastic too.
Yeah.
Why is it they all coming out of Europe like that? I mean, coming out of Canada, they're always better, I noticed, than the ones in the States. Is there a reason you think for that?
Tony, I go back and forth now from Windsor, Ontario, because my daughter's on the border there. Yeah. I really, truly believe that Canadian kids at the time, when it was all Canada kids coming into the NHL back in the 60s and 70s, I do believe Canadian kids skate before they walk. It's just amazing. You got to be on those blades, just like the golfers got to golf every day. You've got to practice your task. You just have to do it. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Richard Hamlin, our good friend Richard, says they changed the rules for Gretzky.
I agree. I'll go with him. I'm going to go with Mr. Hamlin. It was Richard Hamlin, because it looked like, when Gretzky came into the league and the Mario Lemieux came in the league, they were franchise players, and you really couldn't touch them. They give them that really solid hit, where a guy like Makita and Hall and even like Gordie Howe, they were getting hit night after night. So I'm in agreement with Mr. Hamlin, Tony.
Richard's right. Jerry Renda, of course, the great Jerry Jams. Duncan Teeth, one of the greatest for the Blackhawks stretch. First year they won the Stanley Cup 2011, negative in profits.
Yeah, that's coming from Jerry Jams, right?
Coming from Jerry Jams. Okay. So
you gotta like Jerry's answer.
You gotta love Jerry's answer. You know what? Yeah, it's amazing. I'm wondering why hockey's still underneath the radar. I mean, they got these left fielders in baseball making millions of dollars. They might not even see a ball the whole game.
Right. I mean, a utility infielder batting 210 is making, I think the major league minimum now is $993,000 a year.
It's complete craziness. It's complete craziness. One of my favorites, I'd have to say, and Dennis Savard still comes and sees the show a lot. Bobby Hall used to come see me all the time. Of course, Bobby just passed away.
A couple months ago, right? Yeah, Bobby passed away. Yeah.
He was great. But I got to do a memorial for my favorite Blackhawk. I'd have to say was that Keith Magnuson. Boy, what a player
Oh,
he was. I mean, he just took the hits and he was a short guy, but my God, he did a great job.
a true, yeah. I mean, he really wore the Indian head sweater proud, Maggie, for
Yes, he
sure,
did.
Tony.
How
Yeah.
about our good friend John Bobby Nardella now, the new coach
Oh
for
yeah.
the Wolves? I mean, I had Bobby on. What do you think of the Wolves?
I think the Wolves now are going to be even better with Nardella, and I'll tell you why. They used to be the affiliate for the Vancouver Canucks, and I think can't remember might be even the Nashville Predators. Now they are an independent team, so I think Bobby's going to build that team to his liking, meaning the forwards that he wants, the defensemen, and the goaltending. And just a quick shout out to the Nardellas. His cousin Jimmy Nardella was my coach at Holy Cross, so I've been part of that family for many years. So I was really, really happy to see Bobby get the job because I remember him as an 8-year-old at our practices at Holy Cross. And here,
Yeah, Bobby, I'm happy for Bobby too.
Bobby,
Always
great guy, and a great,
guy.
great hockey player.
Absolutely. But one last thing, John, I know you're busy. It's an expensive sport for kids to join, isn't it?
It is. It is. I got to tell you, I think back in my day, if you were a goaltender, goalie pads and everything else. Now I heard to suit up a goaltender with goalie pads, chest protector, arm guards, blocker, stick, and everything. You're looking at $3,500 to $4,000 to suit up a goaltender. It's a lot of money, and these sticks that are made of aluminum graphite. I think they're infringing on the 400 marker for a stick.
Well,
I mean, it's craziness.
Now, let me ask you now, there are nationalities, different races. Is there a lot of Spanish, a lot of African-American hockey players?
I've noticed that the African-American hockey players have made a little bit of a wave in the NHL. And of course, a lot of them are coming out of Western Canada. But again, a lot more than in the 70s and 80s. They've really opened it up for that. And more and more people are, more and more African Americans are in the sport, which is great to see, of course. But more and more are coming out of Western Canada for sure.
Oh, I like to see different parts of different people playing in different sports. You know what I mean? Because it gives you a different vibe of everything. You know what I mean? And so I really enjoy that happening too. John Canana, Venus Travel, folks, 7418 West Belmont. Take a visit down there. Give him a call at 773-673-1110 or go to john@venustravel.com if you're going to go anywhere booking, especially if you're going to Italy and Europe, places like that. John and his family have been doing it for so many years. Congratulations on the 11-year Hall of Fame thing. That's incredible. What's in the future, you think, for, now you heard about this real fast, this Uber. I know it's not travel, but it's still transportation. You heard about these new Uber electrical cars now that will pick you up with no driver and take you to the airport in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's Tony. I know. I always say, we've been saying this for years. What's going to happen in the next 10 years? I mean, really, would you ever believe that the cartoon and what you said of the Jetsons was become a reality?
Yeah, you weren't kidding. I swear to you, I went to we went to visit somebody in a hospital in Naperville, and I walked in. I didn't know where the hell it was. There was a robot. I swear she looked like Rosie the Rosebot. And how do you go this way? And they're telling you where to go. I mean, that's some scary shit.
Some scary shit. So
10 years even with the grocery stores now, the tellers are gone. Everybody's gone. It's going to be interesting. But they're saying about this Uber or this taxi service that can pick you up now with no driver.
No driver.
Get in the car, it's going to take you to the airport.
I mean, it is going to be something how we will communicate in the next 10 years. What is going to be our thing? Just great point by you to bring that up because, wow, every day it changes. And if you don't change every day, you fall behind every day.
You fall behind. I'm going to ask you, Johnny, last question. If somebody wants to get in the travel business, would you recommend that?
Hold on a sec. Here are the keys. No. I got the keys and the scissor. No.
Here it is. Come on over, pick it up. I'm out the door.
But Tony, really, I have to say this. I'm probably one of the last brick and mortar places in and around my area. At one time, there were 10 of us. And of course, now people can think that they can go online and do it. And that's fine. I understand that. But be aware of who you are dealing with when you're online. Make sure it's reputable. Make sure you know where your credit card's going. You might pay it today, but a year later, you could be compromised. But yeah, this is an industry, of course, that has changed. I have become more bigger on servicing a client and making sure his trip going good. And that's what's kept me going.
So you're almost like a stockbroker trying to tell.
Yeah, constantly. Yeah, exactly. But Tone, it's something I always say when I tell people, if I see my dad again, I'm going to kill him when I see him because he left me with this. But no, it's an industry, of course, that's really changed. And you have to be, you get home at night with Laura at 9 o'clock, you're saying, well, I was going to call Johnny, but I'll just go online because, it's available to you to make this reservation.
It's definitely changing, and it's definitely an industry that who knows 10 years from now, there might not be any travel agents.
Exactly.
But John, you have to admit though, you're very fortunate because you have a lot of repeat customers.
Yes.
They fly with you one time or whatever they did. They're going to keep calling you, or their cousin's going to call you, their aunt's going to call you, their nephew, because call Johnny. He took care of us. He knows what we do. So a lot of people don't want to go online and give those credit cards and put their personal information in. They don't want to do that.
This is always my hope that this will continue, hopefully for a little while longer, right? For sure.
Just until you retire. There you go.
Yeah. I'd like to end it to say something to you.
Yes.
Saw you that first time at Al's back in the day on Lake Street. That was the first time I saw you.
Yes.
And it was in the early 90s. And it's amazing. And I'm talking 1991, 1992, I think.
I just celebrated 31 years.
Yeah, it's amazing that how you've continually gotten better and you're always innovating and thinking and pounding that pavement every night. Hey, people think, oh, he's going to put a microphone, he's just going to sing a couple songs and that. It's a lot of work. And you're dealing with the public in a different way, and you've done a tremendous job, young man.
Thank you, John, for your kind words. And like you, man, you're still trying to keep a dying breed going, and you got to keep doing it. So I appreciate everything. Give my best to your family.
Thank you for. I'll always remember this day because you took me over Laura because today is Laura's birthday.
Absolutely, we had Laura on yesterday, so that's it. You got it, John. Listen, one more time, John Canana, folks. Venus Travel.
Thank you, Tony.
Yes, 7418 West Belmont, Chicago, 773-673. Sorry, 637-1110 at john@venustravel.com. John, give my best to the family. Happy 4th of July, my friend, and we will see each other soon. All right, my friend?
Great seeing you, T. Thank you so much, Tony.
Buddy. Thank you so much. John Canana, everybody. Venus Travel, you know how to do it, and that's what it is, folks. We are coming now to the end of the hour here, folks. I want to thank you all for sticking around. I love talking to people who have been doing something for so long. Was Al's on Lake Street? It was on Lake Street, Michael, in Bloomingdale. Yes, it was. Thank you, Roseanne. Kim, he's an entertainer. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, John is doing the same thing I am. He's an entertainer. That's what we got to do. Ricky, how you doing? Oh, thank you, Ricky Sorcy. Cave Dwellers in the house. Kim Peterson LeFew in session. Yeah, Yvette, I hope you feel better, my dear. Jerry Jams, the general, of course, you guys. Danny Ramonde, I wish you the best because you're going to go to Italy for a month, you and your family, Danny. So we can't wait when you get back and play again with the Main Event Band. You have fun on your little family trip. Dennis, great seeing you yesterday in Lake Geneva, buddy. Did not know Bobby All died. Yeah, he was one of the greatest. Ryan Lewis, hi, buddy. My friend Ryan, how you doing, everybody? All right, so we're coming to the end, everybody. A couple other things here, folks. Let's see. We're going to get to this stuff later on. Folks, yes, it's been confirmed. Ryan Seacrest will be the host of Wheel of Fortune. Vanna White's going to renegotiate her contract on that. That's for sure. Speaking of travel, according to ABC, Delta Airlines, a Delta plane landed safely in Charlotte, Douglas International Airport, with the front of their landing gear missing. It fell off, but they landed safely and nobody got hurt. So thank God for that. How about some celebrity birthdays before we go, folks? My wife, happy birthday, Laura Fank Carrara Ocean. Laura, happy birthday, my love. God bless you, sweetie. Let's start. Bobby Valley's birthday, the brother of Frankie Valli. Jersey boys. My Jersey friend Bobby celebrate me. Hey, Chicago entertainer, the great Rick Lindy, celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday, my buddy Ricky. How you doing, pal? Ian Pace, one of the great drummers from the band Deep Purple, Whitesnake, celebrating a birthday today. Oh, yes. PGA Tour golf winner Dustin Johnson celebrates an anniversary today. John Cusack, Chicago actor, Chicago boy, 57 years old. Actress Kathy Bates turns 75 today. Elon Musk from Twitter, that's right, 52 years old today. Richard Rogers, of course, of The Sound of Music, would have been 121 years old. Still listening to that music. John Candy, Canadian actor, funny man, great guy. We all miss John Candy, would have been 72 years old. One of my other favorite comics, the great Richard Lewis, of course, from Curb Your Enthusiasm, turned 76 years old today. Howard Kalin, of course, from Flo and Eddie, of course, of the Turtles, one of the great bands out of the 60s, 70s. My good buddy, Vice President of the Italian American Sports Hall of Fame, John Leonardi. Johnny, happy birthday. Great seeing you on Wednesday. The great Vic Giannotti, of course, died years ago, one of the best ever. The great Vic Giannotti. Who doesn't remember Giannotti's, folks? Don Dokken from the 80s metal band Dokken, celebrating the birthday. Colin Hayes from Australia, from the band Men at Work. He's on the tour right now with Ringo Starr. You got to love it, folks. And Lena, Alan and Lena Kagan, they're probably in Miami somewhere. That's why they're not watching the show. Lena, happy birthday, my dear friend. And Nick Sahajas Jr., the son of Nick and Phyllis Sahajas. Happy birthday, Nick Jr., folks. And last but not least, folks, Hollywood has lost a great actor. I loved him, Alan Arkin. Of course, he dies at the age of 89 years old. He was in a great, one of my favorite movies with Peter Falk called The In-Laws. And he did a lot of great movies, a lot of theater, of course, you might remember him from a little bit more from Little Miss Sunshine. But Alan Arkin was also got the Netflix with Michael Douglas. He was one of my favorite Arkin, 89 years old. We got some dates coming up, folks. Don't forget tonight, Chicago Prime Steakhouse. Saturday is a private event. Sunday, Mojo's Jukebox in Kenosha, celebrating America fireworks show. Kenosha will be going on at 9 o'clock with Mojo's Jukebox. July 6th will be at Berkeley Concert in the Park. July 8th, back to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin at the Getaway Restaurant in the French Country Inn with the Main Event Band. That's 4 o'clock, folks. That's Saturday, July 8th. Two new places. July 12th will be at Big Sammy's in Plainfield. Brand new restaurant, fantastic. July 19th, we're going to be right here in Elk Grove Village, folks. A Chef Falou, seaside Sicilian seafood, great place. We're going to be there on the 19th of July, me and Jerry Jams. Let's not forget Taylor Street Italian Fest, August 18th, August 19th, back to Mars Resort. I know you all wait for it. That's Saturday, August 19th, 4 o'clock, Main Event Band. Let's not forget July 20th, we'll be back at Positano's with Lisa P. and Jerry Jams. July 27th, Pasta Mia outside on the patio. And Ocean's Rat Pack, August 20th. We're going to be, of course, at the wonderful Forget About It Vineyard Winery. Bill Saratella, great job last night. Happy birthday, Julie Saratella. Elliot Winbush's Sammy, yours truly is Dean, Jerry Jams, and special guest Vince Amore as Tony Bennett. That's at the Forget About It Vineyard in Galena, Illinois. A lot of good stuff, folks. I hope you guys are ready. Lake Geneva again, July 16th at the Thirsty Parrot. A lot of good stuff coming up, folks. It's come to the end of the hour, folks. That's right. And you know what that means? That means it's talking about our good sponsors. Ace Hardware, folks. That's right. Buy local, shop local. Norwich, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park, Warrenville. Tell them to grill your ace off and get $20 off any grill purchase. They're hiring in Norwich. They're looking for a full-time garden center manager. Go to Melissa at norwichace.com and apply. That's Ace Hardware. Download the Ace Rewards app for easy way to keep track of your points, coupons, and special offers. Buy local, shop local at Ace Hardware, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Dave Antonelli, if you're listening out there, buddy, I hope you're enjoying your trip up there with Brianna and April. All right, guys, I hope to see you tonight at Chicago Prime Steakhouse. Everybody have an incredible, safe 4th of July. Now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be live. Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin. I'll be coming live. We're going to go for walleye, baby. We're going to do some fishing, relaxing, and we're going live from Land O'Lakes. So we'll see you on Monday, folks. Happy 4th of July. And remember, instead of buying fireworks, buy 2 bags of dog food and drop it off at almosthomefoundation.org. Drop it off at Almost Home Foundation, Irving Park in Schaumburg, Illinois. Tell Kelly Kane and the crew that Tony Ocean sent you. I want to thank my good friend John Canetta from Venus Travel. Travel. It's time to get out of the house, folks. Be safe. Remember, support local establishments, support live entertainment, in the great words of Ringo Starr, peace and love. Happy birthday again to my lovely wife, Laura Ocean. I love you, my dear. God bless you, everybody. Have a great one. And my good buddy Nick Sahajas is going to take us out. Bye-bye.
Time to go, it's the end of the show. See you later from Tony O.
Bye-bye, everybody. Peace and love.